Let's do it live on a Friday edition, Cleveland Browns Daily. Merely Beau, the great Z. That was great. That was great. What just happened off air
What a treat.
was a real treat.
It is a real treat.
Going through the logistics of how we're on, and Gibby was explaining and then eventually just said, just go. Just go.
Listen, folks, bottom line is we're not
dummies.
terrestrial today.
Just follow my lead.
We're just in the stream.
That is never led. How many people in your life you said, just follow the lead? I'm going like all the way back to high school, college. Just follow the Gibby. How often is that a successful landing of the plane?
It'll take you down a path.
Well, there's no disputing that.
I mean, that's all I can promise you is a little ride on a Friday.
Oh, that is fun. That is fun. It's here we go. We got football this weekend, kids. Very exciting. 4 big games, and a lot of juice around all of them. I had
So much juice.
I had a fun moment this morning that I'll share.
Please.
As I was just getting set to take the garbage out, I hear a yell from the top of the stairs. Mom, Dad, Babesy needs you.
It's Bootsy.
It's Bootsy
sounding
screaming.
the alarm.
Yeah, and so, Beamsy he's not alarmist. Like he doesn't get too bent out of shape. He's pretty even Steven. He's the Abraham Lincoln of the bunch. And so to have John Wilkes both sound the alarms, something is bad, right? So we race upstairs. My God, did he hit his head? Blood. It's all possible. It's all in play. You don't know what you're going to get. So I get up there and come to find out, and I was unaware of this, that both my 2 oldest lock their bathroom doors in their rooms so that Bootsy, because he goes in and screws with them while they're showering. I didn't know this. So he sneaks in, turns the lights off and on,
fraternity house.
throws cold water on them when they're in the shower, like just monkeys with them all the time, constantly screwing with them. So they lock the doors when they're in the bathroom. So he was in the shower. I could hear the shower running, and but his door was locked. So here's the other thing. So Bootsy's gotten rid of they've hidden all the keys from him to the doors.
Yeah.
So there was one that I knew where it was, and I found it. And Beamsy's upset, and I can hear that he's upset. And I'm going, what's wrong? What's wrong? So I pop the thing. We go in. So in his shower, it's got the doors that slide.
Yep.
Both ways.
Yep.
So both of the doors came off of the runner.
Yep.
And he was locked in the shower for like 10 minutes.
Fantastic.
He was locked in the shower. He couldn't get out because of this. So in a way, Bootsy created the problem because he's the one locking the doors and all the nonsense. Probably the one who knocked him off the runners, for sure, almost assuredly. And yet also responsible for the save because I couldn't hear him. It was a long ways. Not like I would have heard him had I not been alarmed by Bootsy.
No, and could you imagine if Bootsy had somehow plugged the drain and so all of a sudden it's filling up around? It's just total chaos.
We don't want that. Can't give him those ideas. That's the last thing we need. It's him diabolical. At this point, he's still pretty much harmless. His whole life is just a big game. But, I mean, at some point, I don't need him to be diabolical.
Okay. So, a couple of things.
Sure.
One, it's just so on brand for Bootsy, which I love that.
Yeah.
2, have you ever captured a moment where you just see him kind of running down the hall from their bathrooms with pure joy, and his evil laugh, where you're like, I wonder what he just did? It had to be something.
And
now
question.
you've come to know that, this is what he's been doing. He's been dumping cold water on them when they're
screwing with
showering.
them all the time while they're showering.
He's going to be on a freshman dorm or in a fraternity house. He's going to be outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be an MVP. In retrospect now, knowing the details as they played out this morning, there are many times, especially I will hear my wife yell at them, and it's mostly yelling at him giggling, and I don't know what it's about. I'm just assuming it's taking him forever to get in the shower to go to school, and I'm preparing for the other stuff, and so I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. But now in retrospect, going, my God, all those times, was he just screwing with them and laughing about it? And then this was their way of getting – it's locking him out was their way out.
So is it often that in as I am an only child, if I were trying to steal your story, I would not be. But in my reality, I truly am an only child.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this is like, but I haven't heard of, at least in the groups of brothers that I have known, many dynamics where it is the younger one that is actually the one who is getting them and torturing the other. It's typically, in my experience, the youngest is the one who is just being tortured incessantly.
Yeah, I think Yeah, the opposite is happening here. I think that's the correct read.
Okay.
They do mess with him a lot, and I think but he's just capable of so much more. He's so diabolical. Like my oldest will take it all the way to the line, but he'll stay on the line. The middle one won't come close to the line. Like he just walks a straight line. Yeah. And Bootsy lives across the line.
Oh,
he lives in a world where he's bound by no laws or rules.
So when I knew I'd heard so much about Bootsy, and when we hung out near Cedar Point,
up at the lake.
Sure. When we hung out up at the lake that day, there was a scene that unfolded before my eyes where I just said, this kid.
At that point you knew?
Without question. I mean, I knew it, but then when you see it, it just hammers it home so much. And I don't remember what he spilled. I think it was like some chips. I think he spilled some chips on the ground.
Yeah.
And you were like, Boots, you got to clean up those chips. And he just looked at you, and then he looked at your wife, the blonde in this case, and gave her a look like, I'm not cleaning those chips up, so you better clean those chips up. And then she cleaned the chips up, and then he just went up, and then he looked right back at you like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay.
You did witness firsthand what he's capable of.
Like, all right.
Yeah.
You can't hate it. Like, you can't. You got to respect it. You got to respect the bold.
He's surfing on a rainbow his whole life. That's all it is.
So nice.
Take it in one after another.
It's funny as you get older and you're into adulting and the like that you realize the days when all anybody wanted was for you to be happy because that meant you were crying or was like, you didn't realize how good you had it. It's so ironic when you're a kid. You're like, I just got to grow up. I can't wait to grow up. No. Enjoy it.
It's the Billy Madison. Stay as long as you can.
As long as you can. That's right. Exactly. He's not wrong.
You can't. Yeah, you don't have the proper perspective of it, and if at any point looking back on it now, you with your kids, Gibbe too, like you do everything you do is to put them in the best position to succeed.
Totally.
And have the best time ever. Like there's almost nothing that I do that's entirely for me. Almost nothing. Yeah. Which is I signed up for it. It was in the brochure.
No doubt.
Right? Like know what it is. Like you know what you're doing when you do it. But yes, everything is done to cultivate the best possible scenarios for them.
And I feel like
which is great.
And it goes in a percentage, right? So like you said, okay, you're capable. You get into a relationship, and in a relationship, because there is give and take in a relationship. So then, like, let's say you lose, we'll call it 10% of single Beau, which means you can do like everything that you want to do whenever you want.
Yeah.
Then you have your first kid, and you still can maintain a lot of like pure Beau. Like I think with one kid,
I don't disagree. You're fine.
You can still operate maybe 75% of pure of your pure self.
Fair.
Then you hit 2 kids, and that drops to like 30%.
Yeah.
Like the second kid is so much more than double the first kid. Now, I don't know if 3 kind of stays at the same level as 2, but the 1 to 2 is the gap that just absolutely changes everything. And it is completely in the brochure. And the funny part is everybody you talk to, like, oh, just wait till you have kids. You're like, oh, it'll be fine. It's going to be so different for us. No, it's just, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So 2 to 3, it's not, the only thing is it's more of a pain, like to buy flights, that type of stuff, because you can't go 2-2. That's the only thing that's
0
harder.
to 1.
0 to 1 is a monster change.
Because it's a fundamental change. You're now a parent. You're responsible for a life.
Yeah.
But in terms of you maintaining, like, hey, I'm going to go do this on my own.
Yeah.
1 to 2 is the biggest change.
For sure.
It wipes it out, basically.
Absolutely. And the best example of this is like golf or those type of things. Like it's impossible.
Forget it.
To do that. Which is, I mean, I do it with them when I can. I try to play with them, but that type of stuff. That's it.
How old's Bootsy?
He's 6.
Yeah, you're almost in the, like, total home stretch. I know yesterday we were talking about it, and obviously, look, my situation is different, and that my time with the kids is different. But like my kids are 12 and 13.
Yeah,
they're like adults.
Right.
And then it's going to be not too long to where they don't even want to hang out with me, which is going to.
I think it's really cool though that you're still in a spot where they do. That's awesome because I can sense that that's coming. I have friends who have kids who are like 7th graders, 8th graders, freshmen, and they can't stand their parents.
So I'm very lucky in that respect still that it's going on. Like we've been in the midst of, we plowed through everything Marvel. Now we're going back and watching all the old Spider-Mans because we didn't watch that. Yeah. We just finished the Hawkeye series, which was great. But then we play every night when we're together. We're playing euchre tournaments.
Oh, I like this.
And the kids have gotten really good. And so now it's, most games end up at some point, whether at 9-9 or 9-8. Like there are very few blowouts, but not to, toot my own horn right now. But so we've gone through I'm undefeated still. So we've gone through 7 iterations. So me and Bryce, me and Arden, me and Miss K.
And you have the standings?
Yeah, we keep standings. Oh, Arden has a scoreboard written out or whatever.
I love this.
And so, and all they want to do is take me down. And then this one, Arden and I were down 2-1, and we played 3 games last night, and both of them went into extra sessions. The first 2 did. We came out on top of both those. Then the third one, they were just, I think they had been defeated at that point, and we took it home. And every iteration has their own celebration and handshake. It's good fun. Sometimes I'll cut promos thanking like my parents for birthing me and giving me an opportunity to excel at euchre. It's really fun. Awesome. It's a really good time.
You love nothing more than to stick it to them. There's nothing I love more.
Oh, no.
But
Kayla, shockingly enough, sweet Kayla, fierce competitor.
Not a fan of you.
No, but like if I try
around.
to hold her hand while we're in the middle of a game, no.
Not having it.
She'll say, no thanks. That just says, no thanks. I try to give her a kiss. No thanks.
None. I love it. That is fantastic. Yeah. That is absolutely great. What are you doing for these games? Rank them for me. We get scores, over unders, all that stuff.
Sure.
Most interest to least. Try to take the Niners out of it, like other than the personal
Most
bias.
interest is probably Kansas City, Buffalo. Second would be, I think you make the case that Niners.
I think
they're right there, but then
second.
Rams, Bucks are right there. I think clear number 4 is Bengals, Titans, even though I'm very interested in that game. So I'm into all these games. I'm fired up for this weekend. I think it's going to be great. I think Sunday is going to be, that's just back-to-back phenomenal football. You're talking about, two of the top 3 quarterbacks. Rodgers would be in there, and then probably Allen right now feels like maybe he's number 4.
Yeah,
Stafford's not that far out either when he's good. Stafford. So that's going to be great. And then the Saturday games, I'm going to try to do something. Tell me if you think this is possible. This is what I'm trying to do.
I like it.
So we've got this dinner party with some great friends, the Feudies, and so we're going to have this dinner and we're going to have great wine, great food. I could go 2 ways, and I've been told either one is acceptable. I can bring my iPad and just kind of set that on the side with the YouTube TV and have the game going. We'll be out of there by 10, and it's an 8:30 kick?
8:15.
8:15. Do you think I can go just turn my phone off? It will not. There are no TVs at the place we're going to, so there's no chance of that. Turn my phone off.
Oh, you're going on the road. I thought you were going to somebody's house.
No, we're going.
You're going on the road.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So,
all right.
I think I can get into the cone of silence and come home, rip through it, no commercials, and then be live for the second half or for the fourth quarter for sure.
It's really a question of your discipline. Now, for me, which
all right, we're already starting.
It's not great.
Not great.
Here's what I would say, for me at least, and Gibby, you tell me where you are on this. I think live sports that I care about is impossible to DVR because what ends up happening for
You'll just get live.
That's exactly right. You start it, and you're like, okay, and then all of a sudden, because the problem is the other thing with DVR is nobody has ever created a DVR that actually stops when you hit it. It either goes past or it goes too far, so it's a second and a half or 2 seconds too far, and so that screws it up. So you see the start of the next play, and you're like, well, what the hell? I might as well just go through that play. I've already seen how the start of it. It's a run play. Great. You can't ever get it perfect. If we lived in a world where you got home at 10 o'clock and the game was edited just like the All-22 is, where it's just like snap, 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 snap. Absolutely. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is you're going to get there, they're going to start monkeying with the DVR, and you're like, oh, the hell with it. And you're going to just go to live because you're going to know that it's happening and it is live. And that's where I would be. I would go iPad would be my ruling on that.
I consider myself a good stick man. Now, the iPad, though, you worry about, am I being rude? I'm walking to a very nice place where we're having a very nice dinner, and I'm just going to plop an iPad down here and throw the Niners-Packers on.
You are a man who doesn't bow to convention.
True. I just want to make sure I'm a good conversationalist, and that's what I'd be
You're
worried
from
about,
the Bay Area.
that I'd be too locked in.
You're from the Bay Area. It's your childhood team. It's one of your great friends in the world. You were in his wedding in Kyle Shanahan.
That's right.
So
we have matching tattoos.
That's right. I think that it's very justifiable.
No, in fact, it was proposed to me by the people that we're going to dinner with.
See, I like that then. To me, that's the way I would do it.
Fair.
Even if you're not watching it intently, you can still go back and then watch it intently. But I think on a game like that, you want to be in real time. I don't know. To me,
okay.
Gibby, where do you stand on that? Can you DVR live sports?
Number one, I'd cancel the dinner.
Well,
by the way, they threw that out there. They're like, look, we totally get it if you want to cancel, but I'm pumped for the dinner. Very excited about the dinner.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be a part of it.
Well, I can't if I'm not watching it live, there's no point in me watching it. And I think there's one factor you're not thinking of that could derail this whole thing.
What?
Pedro texting you.
Well, he's going to turn the
if
phone
I turn
off,
the phone off,
so he should
he
be
can't
okay
text me.
there.
And he's asked me for cones of silence before, so like, not Pedro would have.
That's not the biggest. The biggest is you're very recognizable. Somebody at the restaurant, waiter, patron, you're coming in and out, whatever.
What? Yeah.
Goes poor.
Private area.
Yeah,
That
but
won't
you're
be an
still
issue.
you're going to run through people. There's going to be people. There's going to be waiters. People are going to know you, and they're going to
Okay.
say
All
you're
right.
going to. That's an incredible risk.
Okay.
I mean, heck, somebody could give you a Pedro accent and go and give you one of those. Or Steve Young wouldn't be losing this game. Like all that inside stuff would be happening.
Yeah.
And
Maybe he would be.
And so I think it's just way too big of a
All right,
risk.
so I'm bringing the iPad. I think we've settled on.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I would
bringing
do.
the
So-
iPad.
And you don't have to watch it like you're not going to be.
I'm not
like
going to put
this.
it. It'll be over here. Let's take a little look.
My kid's eating breakfast in the morning. You're not going to be
we'll
like
pop
that.
into it. We'll pop in.
Yeah, you'll have it there. It'll be around, but you'll still be able to participate in conversation. You pay attention about 32% of the things I say, and we still do a successful show.
Erroneous. Much higher.
You know?
I mean,
Significantly.
yesterday
That was
missed
rude.
part of a segment.
But I was paying attention. I was just thinking maybe we should revisit it. I feel it'd be so nice if this mic just dropped down to me right here.
You would be
Awful idea.
so undisciplined with it, and it would end up. It would be so.
So you like this?
I think this is great.
Fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
It's a little
except
weighty.
on the screen.
It's a little weighty.
You look sloppy. 'Cause
Yeah.
You look sloppy.
Doesn't matter.
You're kind of reclined.
It's an audio
You look
medium.
sloppy.
We're on the radio.
Yeah, we're on the radio, Gibby. Like we're doing a radio show, so that's the priority.
I don't know if that's entirely true today.
Well,
Not today. Not yet.
not yet.
Not
I
yet.
watched that episode last night. With
Did
the
ya?
crepes.
Really?
Yeah. Amy went skiing with my oldest, and as I put the two littles to bed, and I knew I had about 20-some minutes. I'm like, I got to find that episode and see what's going. It's fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. What a joy to see Kramer. I forgot that Kramer brought the Cubans who ended up being Dominicans. He actually brought them to New York to give them to his buddy, who was that Texan that he used to bet like the arrival of airports on. He was an intermediary to bring those guys up for him to roll his own cigars. Like that was the premise. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh my God! And this,
It
we're
happened
back to
again?
this.
All right, hold on. I'm printing again. I didn't realize.
What are we doing
it.
here,
My fault.
Gibby? We're doing.
Why it's right here. That's why it's right here for easy access. Not buried under hundreds of things, hidden in the archives because it's
Why
irrelevant.
does it keep reverting
This.
back to that?
Somebody's
Gibby,
setting
you gotta
that all the
It
time.
says print on one side.
We're getting double-sided.
You're
print.
double-sided.
All right.
We're doing a
I'm
show for
reprinting.
9 people.
I'll
It's
have
like
you-
it's like you came.
Double-sided
It's like you
can't
were.
do this either. This is not good
It's
for
terrible.
me either.
I don't know where I'm at. I pull this, all of a sudden I go, 2 o'clock. We got a long way to get
You know what
to.
it feels like to me? From the performance that we're getting out of Gibbe right now, it feels like to me that Gibbe was fired up about the release of the season finale of Building the Browns, which is out right now at youtube.com/Browns. He watched it. Great stuff with Deke. Great stuff with Demetric Felton. Incredible
Sure.
stuff with Demetric Felton. And it feels like he was so happy about that he celebrated with like a couple of margaritas, and then he's like, yeah, I'll go in and do the show and give it my best on a Friday.
That's
it
it.
feels like that.
Feels like that's what's happening.
Because everybody out there, they're enjoying Building the Browns. They're probably having a margarita right now.
Absolutely.
I would.
Why wouldn't you be? Having the time of your life. All right. Well, as I flipped it, we'll go around the
silence
league.
is weird. About
We'll go
it.
through all these
Never
games.
know why.
response to that.
I'll have new copies when we come back.
We got some over under fun. We got the scores. We got some mailbag. Look, it's a Friday, kids. We'll have a little fun. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. The weather's cold outside. Would a nice hot bath or shower feel amazing? Why not transform your bathroom into a custom bath? It's going to feel like a spa. Let the Bath Authority make this a reality for you at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. The Bath Authority is Cleveland's premier bath and shower remodeler with expert factory-trained installers. Call now for $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. Give them a call, 216-220-8399, or go to thebathauthority.com, where affordability meets quality. They have the largest selection of bath projects. They're all made in the United States. Change your bathroom from outdated to outstanding. Acrylic tubs, insulate, keep the heat in. Hot tub to shower conversions, everything you need. Superior products with expert installers. Thebathauthority.com. Give them a call, 216-220-8399. There you go.
There it is. Beautiful. By the way, Bernie has chimed in. He says that I'm better than him going to dinner. He's with Gibby. I would cancel. And then he said, yep, that's probably why I'm still single. And Gibby said, thank you for being the voice of reason to the great Bernie Kosar. So Bernie's listening?
Well, we had an issue. So my wife, this is our first weekend basically with no football. Because last weekend we were in Florida.
Because we were vacation.
You were in vacation.
Yeah, we were
on
on
a wonderful
vacation.
time.
This
you still
weekend,
can.
I'm home.
Yep.
And now I'm in the off season for my wife, which means duties.
You've got a honey-do list? There's a
She
foot of
said,
snow.
Hey, I signed us up. So we're supposed to go out with a couple tomorrow night. The guy that was the best man at our wedding, great friend of mine, John and Judy, hanging out with the Streichuses. John and I have planned this out for Green Bay, San Francisco. We planned this out.
Like we were headed up.
Yeah. Unlike
it's
you're,
tough.
You're
It's
at
a
dinner.
tough spot.
I'm going.
Listen, the bottom line is I had a 25% chance of my game falling into this window.
Well, when was this booked? You probably had even less than that because when was the date booked?
Weeks ago.
Weeks ago. So at that point, the Niners weren't even looking like a playoff team. So think of what needed to happen to get to this point to where this is the one game that's a problem.
That's the thing.
Long odds.
So
which you could have wagered on it.
My wife is. I knew that we had a commitment tonight.
Mm-hmm.
My wife has volunteered us. I'll be working the concession stand at Olmsted Falls. We're slinging dongs.
What?
You know, it'll be great. The dogs will be out.
You're slinging
Who wants a hot dog? You get a hot dog.
Thank God we're not on the radio.
Yep.
Thank God.
Can you say that?
No.
I
I'm
didn't
pretty
think
sure
so.
you can't.
Nick, you should probably dump that.
Why? For who?
I don't know.
For whom? We're not ruled by
just in
the
case.
There, boy.
We're
just
not
in case.
we're not hit by the rules of the FCC.
No.
No, we're not.
Like,
not Pedro would be
say whatever
very
you want.
pleased with you continuing
hot
to
dogs,
put the M
folks.
on
Hot
the end of
dogs.
whom. He'd be very
I'm
happy
slinging
with that.
them.
Whom.
It'll be great. So I got to work that tonight.
Yeah.
And it's like I got to do the JV game, and then my kids, she's a cheerleader and all that stuff.
How many people come up to you and go, "Hey, Gibby, get me a hot dog"?
You know what? So I've done the football routine, but I'm in the back, so I'm not at the front of the camera.
You should be
no.
front of house.
No,
Are you
I don't want
nuts?
to be front of the house.
on.
Yes,
We
you
get
should be front of the house.
I do not want to be.
You're a
front of the house.
celebrity.
Are we trying to move dogs here or not? If we're trying to move dogs and you get you up front,
Yes.
No. I don't need to be.
Nobody slings
But
dogs
tonight,
like you.
the concession stand is a much smaller concession stand, and I don't know what's going to happen.
So if it's small, how could you possibly be in the back?
I need
My
you up.
wife looks at her calendar the other day, and she goes, "Slight issue. I signed us up. We have a home game on Saturday, too." I said, "No, we don't. We do not. We have a game, beers, and wings to consume."
What a man.
How'd she take to that?
I said, "Look, I'll work the JV game. Goes till 7 o'clock.
And that's
I said, I'll even stay for the first half of my kid's game. Then she's on her own.
Give 10. Love
I
it.
said,
Give back
I
to the
will be
community.
where I need to be at 8:15 for kickoff.
I love that you're so locked in. Who are you rooting for?
I mean, clearly, Packers,
I
just
do want a
despite
good game,
you,
but
right?
I am rooting for the Packers.
Yeah, despite you.
Just to spite me?
No.
For what
course.
reason then?
No, I enjoy going to Packer games. Before I got this gig, I enjoyed going to Lambeau. I have friends that are up there that are tied in.
Were you ever at Candlestick back in the day?
No, I never got to go.
Oh, man. Saw one of the greatest football games
I
of
can
my
tell
life
you,
at Candlestick.
I can tell you Santa Clara isn't exactly Candlestick. Doesn't make me feel good.
It's not.
What
and-
happened to
and-
that site? What's on that site now? Former Candlestick.
I don't know if anything.
Hey, did you hear?
Hunters Point,
Landfill.
landfill, maybe. Nothing. I don't think there's that. Maybe they built some office buildings or homes or whatever, but there's nothing.
Really?
Of
It's
note.
just there's nothing.
I'll look it up.
Did you hear, by the way, what happened overnight with your the team of your baseball youth? Your Oakland A's are going nowhere.
They're staying.
Apparently, there's a deal done, like a $32 billion infrastructure deal with housing and a 34,000 square foot 34,000-seat baseball stadium in Oakland. Like, they were going to Vegas. I thought
Yeah.
it was done.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like the A's are going to be around.
That's good. I mean, it's just amazing to me that I don't know about you guys, and we've talked about this many times. I was so into baseball as a kid. I mean, like I said, I had went to all the games, had all the score books. I'd keep score. I had every baseball card. I played Stratomatic baseball when I wasn't actually playing baseball or attending a baseball game. I purposely botched the word Jabberwocky in the Alameda County spelling bee because they said once you got eliminated, you got tickets to the A's game that day.
That's right.
I mean, I was into it, and now it's
I
don't know. And I know people are very pumped. A lot of loyal, Indians/Guardians fans in this town, and hopefully they're fun. But it's I don't know. I do like going though a few times a year. Like I love to take in a handful of games a year.
I think what's happened over the course of the years is that this is a sport, much like hockey in this regard, where the live experience is still really great.
Yeah.
You love a live experience.
Sure.
The other two sports that are so popular in this country are, and I think basketball is actually really hard live unless it's a really big game. I think basketball is tough live because of how many stoppages. But, I mean, these are television sports.
Yeah.
Whereas, baseball was a radio sport.
Yeah.
I mean, and then there's the other thing about it is the region. It's the most regional of all the sports. Like if you care about the team in your region, you don't really care about the teams that aren't in your region.
And I think as a part of our attention spans, number one, the games take a long time.
Sure.
And number two, it's hard to get pumped up about the outcome of game 56 in a 162 game season.
Well, that's why I think I don't think it's any coincidence
there's
that as televisions have gotten better and clearer, as sports talk radio boomed on the scene, that football has benefited in addition to fantasy football and all of that.
Sure.
But it's once a week. Look what we do at the Browns game. Look at how our shows are stacked leading into a Browns game. When I do the show down south and we do it's all built around you have a day and a half, sometimes 2 days. It's looking back at one game.
Yes, and then you turn the page Wednesday, and then you have Thursday, Friday,
away you go.
all this.
But it's all setting up, looking back at one game, looking ahead to the next.
Yeah.
And the problem with the other sports is, and they're all in this boat, is you can't make that big of a deal about one game because they play the next.
Right.
So what? Just perfect example. The Columbus Blue Jackets lost 9-0 over the weekend to the Florida Panthers. Absolutely boat raced.
Yep.
They won last night 2-1. So what do you make of it? Nothing. Because they play tonight against Pittsburgh, and that's the hard thing. It's so what you try to do is you have to look at when you try to talk those sports, you have to do it in terms of 10 games windows. It's tricky, and football is the perfect sport for the perfect time, and that's how you get 50 million people watching the Cowboys and the 49ers.
And the Niners, that's right.
Yeah, wait till you can live bet the sport from your seat.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to be.
Well, it is coming. Yes. But that once we all get on the same page, that's coming when all the states have legal sports betting. But people sit in your seat and go, there's whatever odds for who's going to score the first touchdown for the Browns, and you can pick between Chubb and Hunt and Baker and whatever.
Will this drive in a touchdown? Will this play be a pass or a run?
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's the final frontier of it all. Certainly.
You're going to have some people, though, who come to the game and walk out with significantly less money than they walked into the game with.
No question.
Or walking out needing a bodyguard.
Well, too.
That'll all be in their digital account, though, Gibbe.
Right.
I don't think
you're going to load a card.
I'd like to see Gibbe walking up and down the aisles, handing out cash and collecting cash. I'd like this is cash only.
Game?
Yes, cash only. Could you imagine?
Oh, you're not going to pay?
Oh God, well, jeez, no.
Let me introduce you to my friends here.
I don't think you want any of that. Anyway, so that's where you stand on that front. Where did we rank on the special teams rankings at Sports Illustrated?
I don't know why this is in here. Not good.
We're not good.
Great, but I
we're
don't
like
understand.
Not great.
Okay, the reason why I put it in was because I don't think this is a good representation of what we did from a special team standpoint. I get that we had some kicking issues.
We had the lowest field goal percentage.
But what about our coverage?
So this is where we are. We are an elite coverage team.
Yeah.
We are a significantly below average return team, and we were the worst kicking team. So I think when you add that all up, of the three, and that's why I'm very excited when, now that you're back from vacay and we can, hopefully coordinate with people and get some guests on here. One of the things I want to talk about is now that we've had a lot of data and you look around the league and it does feel like there is some type of a correlation between successful kicking and successful teams. And you think about how many close games there were, and you think about our close games this season, how many of those close games did we miss a kick at some point in that close game? And you look at, what Carlson did for the Raiders. Like, the Raiders don't make the playoffs without Carlson. Now, were they a great team? No. They beat us, but they don't make the playoffs without Carlson. The Ravens aren't even close to being what the Ravens were this year without Tucker.
No.
Robbie Gould hasn't missed in the playoffs in like a decade for the Niners, which is insane.
How about the Bears let him walk?
Let him walk for Cody Parkey, who was a Pro Bowler that very next year, and then he had the double doink in the playoffs, and it was tough for him to recover. He came here. He kicked pretty well for us, though, I would say. I thought Cody did a nice job there. But that's one of the things that I'm going to look at. And then, look, the Browns have made some changes in the special teams unit. Special teams assistant coach Doug Coleman no longer with the team. Great guy. Certainly wish him well. Love talking to him. Very nice guy. I'd run into him at Mark's from time to time.
There you go. There you go. So, all right.
I don't know how to respond to that.
I love it. How could you not? You've been trained on how to respond to. I mean, that's all half the show is us pretending to be the other person.
I know.
And we respond to it all the time.
Me as the third wheel. I'm a third wheel in this little game
true.
that you play.
Not third wheel.
Never.
I think it is.
Coming up next, we'll go around the league a little fact or fiction with it as well. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. When you're on the injured list, get a little help getting back in the game. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk & Elk is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns as we go around the league. Gibby, this looks like a fact or fiction around the league.
Yeah,
you're administering
this.
This
is kind of a hodgepodge I put together as we went.
Well, I feel like you should administer it then.
I can do that.
Yeah.
That's
I
fine.
think so. I feel like this is in your sweet spot, if you will.
Shout out to Brownie Elf at Browns_fan1. Browns Daily, worst sports show on the radio. You guys are terrible. 10 minutes into the show, not one sports take. Time to sign off. Miss a day, miss a lot. I mean, okay, Godspeed.
Hope he has a great day.
Yeah.
He missed what you were slinging.
I'm telling you.
Slinging things.
You're slinging things.
Guess what you missed in segment 2?
Sad.
Yeah. All the best. Hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
Sun's out, man. Live.
Yeah.
Live a little
with
bit.
you.
Yeah.
And also with you.
Well, to be like counterpoint would be, but a reality. Thanks to the Big B, Nathan Zegura, for the shout-out. CBD is the best show around because of the Big B tandem with Beau Bishop and the mostly, I like that, mostly, in parentheses, Big P, Gibbe. There's no doubt Browns Daily is the best topic on the show, and the couple minutes following this clip confirmed this, and he put a clip for the people. So maybe send that to Brownie the Elf. See what he thinks.
I mean, hey, I can't control you. Miss a little, miss a lot.
I've even been wearing a Brownie the Elf beanie.
Yeah. Chris is all over. He picked up on you. That apparently didn't get all the way dumped, or he's on some sort of platform.
Oh,
where
no.
it does it because
Kevin Costa's all over it.
there's several on it.
So on
Yeah.
streaming, it goes over.
Oh,
on the
okay,
stream,
okay.
There's no dumping.
But
Here's
that's-
a
So
football.
what were you dumping it on? What medium were you dumping it on? We're only streaming.
I got a little hairball in the throat. Just came out a little bit.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is, when you asked it to be dumped where?
Dumped from what?
I don't know what's going on back there.
Nobody knows anything.
Paulus Godspeed.
He's doing his
trying
best
to control all of it and hoping to God that
it all
whatever
works.
is going on.
Lord have mercy.
Yes,
God bless
it
you.
Doesn't get him in trouble.
This is whoever that was who doesn't like us. Here's a football question for you: Do we draft the punter from SDSU? How early do you think he goes? From Mel Kiper Jr. Well, let's start to break down the punter from San Diego.
Do you know what his
State
nickname
University.
is?
Bobby
Punt God.
Punt God.
Yeah, he's
I'm
the
in
punt
already.
God.
This is real.
Yeah.
Well, see, you want your football content. There you go. Punt God.
Epic punt god Matt Araiza and the greatest college football punting season of all time. So
How do you have this at your disposal?
Because I've talked about him, and there are the punt
Where
god
have you
has
talked
been
about him?
bandied about. Oh,
Where?
I'm surprised. The other half of the Ibs boys, maybe he's withholding that from you. But Gribbs is big on the punt god.
Well, where are they getting? What medium are they hearing about the punt God? Like
He
how
punts for San Diego State.
Okay.
Okay.
You say that matter-of-factly as if he punted for Alabama and we would have seen him play. I watch a lot of college football. I didn't watch San Diego State once.
Okay, so-
I watch a lot of college football. I didn't see a feature on this guy once. Moose, God bless him.
Matt Araiza of the San Diego State Aztecs made all kinds of headlines by becoming college football's first ever punter this year, which I don't understand that sense. Winning the Ray Guy Award and setting a new record for total punt yards. He's very good at punting the ball very far, perhaps comparable to Sebastian Janikowski as a kicker coming out of Florida State. If you've been on the internet at all, you've been bombarded with information presented as his ascension to godhood and validation to venerate him above all others. He's had a tremendous season with an unconventional approach, and like Janikowski, he has an NFL future ahead of him. Oh, my goodness. I compared him to – I don't know if I like this guy. Hold on. I compared him to Andre Ware in the past, and that was perhaps unfair. It's more like what would have happened if Jeff George had run the Houston offense instead of Ware. Okay, that's positive about Jeff. I like that. Perhaps he is still responsible for 2021 being a great punting season because the hype will make more people pay attention to the unsung heroes. But here it is. This guy – so 79 punts, over 4,000 gross punting yards. While he's pioneering a different approach and sending balls out of the end zone, it's just basically he's averaging – let's see – he averaged over 50 yards a punt.
Okay.
He's the punt god. I don't know.
Yeah.
51.27.
So you had Janikowski went in the first round.
Yeah,
he was
the
a kicker, obviously. Went in the first round to the Raiders. Aguayo was a second-round pick of the Bucks and bombed.
Boy, that was bad.
Bombed.
We gave him a tryout at one point this year.
Yeah, and he was one of the more automatic kickers in college when he was at FSU. So from a punt standpoint, that's just such a different ball game.
I would like us to bring him in because remember we got all excited one year in training camp. I think this is before your time. We had a kicking competition, and one of the guys' nicknames was Murder Leg.
Yes. He had a murder leg.
that was before my time, yeah.
make it onto the team.
No.
Yeah.
Apparently
But
it was
he
very
was
impressive.
there like final week, I think.
Yeah, he made it all the way down to the end. But punt God, I feel pretty good about this guy.
I mean, let's just bring back Cole.
Absolutely.
Original Cole. Like, what do we
We got to get that all sorted out. But I'm with you. OC, original Cole.
Yeah, I mean,
put it on T-shirts.
We like Big Brother. He was great. But, original Cole, come on back.
Or maybe, or perhaps if original Cole's not looking to come back, possible, right? You have to have two mutual interest.
Yeah.
Maybe the Hammer's gone to Buffalo. He's gotten some wings, and he started booming the ball again.
Could be. Both those guys were a delight.
I
have a feeling. How many weeks in a row did we try to have Dustin Colquitt on the show?
Like 8.
Right.
All of
6
them.
or 8 times?
Basically
6
the
or
whole
8
time that he
weeks.
was here.
Dustin Colquitt may join the show. And then one time we had, remember that was
We had 3 minutes.
It was like the crazy day.
It was the chaos. And then there was a day when you were out and we were waiting on him. And,
Didn't happen. He's been on that board, Gibbe's beautiful board of
planning.
days. Yeah. Board of days. Calendar.
The board.
All right, Gibby. Do your around the league.
This is how things get derailed in this show.
We're just having a
no,
good
I'm
time.
not saying it's a negative.
It's the middle of January, my God. What are we going to do? Break down a mock draft?
Yeah, Daniel Jeremiah's 1.0 is out today. We'll get to that on Monday.
Please.
Ooh.
Yes, there's plenty of time
Plenty
for
of
that.
time. We'll do some position reviews. Brownie, come back.
So we got a
You're
little
safe.
around
Stay
the
away.
league, some playoff
needs you?
stuff,
It's like
some
we'll talk to
Katie
non-playoff
Prefer.
stuff.
Katie. Yeah.
Team Gibbe. All the way.
Fact
By
or
the way,
fiction?
hold on real quick. Fact, Big Drew, totally on our team. Baco Nation, totally on our team.
Yeah.
So,
Well, obviously.
pretty formidable.
Yeah.
With what?
Life. You can be on our team or your team because you have created a situation, according to some of the people who've come in to work that board, where you're either Team Gibbe or Team Big B's.
In what way? What board?
That board. When you were gone on vacation, people were filling in for you. They had basically
Felt like they had to choose.
They had to choose sides.
Ours or
I'm
yours.
not forcing anybody to choose sides. If they want to be wrong, they can be wrong, or they can be right.
That was straight out of the Not Pedro playbook. That answer right there, phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal.
was.
Glorified babysitting.
I've never. Hey, hold on.
glorified babysitting.
I've never told anybody that sat here they have to go one way or the other.
Katie felt pretty strongly that was part of
God
her
bless
mission
her.
statement.
I appreciate that.
That's why she doesn't even want us to have an on-air light. Drew, by the way, is telling me that he is as part of his, we know that he whittles wood and makes beautiful carvings. He is right now figuring out a way to link this button and these microphones with an on-air light of his own workings.
I'm not surprised.
Because he's a hero.
He's quite capable. Yeah.
He's the rip of this establishment, I've
I
decided.
don't have a single problem with that.
No.
Yeah.
And that is coming. That's in the highest regard.
Yeah. I think that's fine.
Okay. Great.
Have you haven't watched Yellowstone yet, have you?
I've not.
Yeah. When you do, you'll know.
I'll know.
Yeah.
Fact or fiction? Dak Prescott should have been fined more than $25,000 for his comments on the officiating in his loss to San Fran on Sunday. Bishop.
Fiction. I'm fine. 25K is fine. It's fine. He apologized. I mean, he was wrong. That was one thing that turned me off was like, it's your mistake, coach.
Right.
You blew it, boy.
You had
they
14
didn't.
penalties.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that those just weren't inadvertent flags being thrown.
The most, I've seen a lot of guys going around quarterbacks talking about the most amount of time you can run it in that scenario, or the least amount of time, rather, and it was like 17, 18. They did it with 14.
That's right.
Like, why fly that close to the sun, brother?
That's right.
Zegura?
It's like the guy in Half Baked. He's like they're talking about 7-minute abs. He's trying to come out with 6-minute abs.
I know.
That's right.
You're talking Limburger, and it's brie time, baby.
Zegura, Kyler or Cliff, who do you blame more for the Arizona Cardinals meltdown?
Cliff, 100%. And then there were reports yesterday. There was this contentious meeting between the owner and Keim and Cliff, and from somebody who had worked for the Cardinals for 8 years. And then Rappaport said, according to sources, there never was such a meeting.
I don't like the sound of that.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
If you're Arizona, though, Kyler's at the point where you would have to get him to weigh in on it, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Isn't he owed that based on his production?
Yes.
that you'd say, hey, man, that we're thinking about doing this. Can you get behind this? Or, are you married to Cliff?
Has there ever been a guy that has, I feel like it's 2 years in a row for sure, maybe even 3, but certainly 2 years in a row, that has been at the midseason like the leading MVP candidate, and then by the end of the season is nowhere near the discussion? Because he's done that 2 years in a row. Remember when he beat Russ 2 years ago, and it was like, oh, the changing, Kyler's the guy, and then fizzle out, and then this year, same thing.
I mean, I can't think of anybody. I'm sure that's happened in the NBA where there's been somebody who's raced out to things and then fizzled. But no, I can't think of it from an NFL standpoint of somebody who's raced out and fizzled. I would also say that from a linked at the hip standpoint, I can't think of anybody who's been more linked at the hip than Kyler and Cliff. If they don't hire Cliff, they don't draft Kyler. So they are married in that sense. Like, is there another example of that where you hire a coach, you already have a young quarterback, and you say, "No, the hell with it. I want this guy," and so they do it. I think about like Jimmy Johnson and Troy Aikman. They came in and then he drafted Aikman. There was that, but it's not like he had another young quarterback who they just previously taken on the roster. Like it was such a gutsy move at the time. They had just drafted Rosen.
Yeah, in the top 10 the year before.
Yeah.
I think that's a good question. You just brought up Aikman and the Cowboys, so I wanted to ask you. You saw Michael Irvin's comments?
I didn't. I mean, which ones?
About how CeeDee Lamb and Zeke didn't do anything in the game, and he said, Emmett and I would, we'd get in the tunnel and we'd tell each other, we have to be stars. We have no chance. We've got to be the stars. And
there's nothing I like more than old football player acting like the reason that they had success is because they got more amped or more pumped up.
Well, he's just saying we've got to be stars.
Stages.
We've got to be right.
Come on.
And he's like, and then you can't have your stars being role players and your role players trying to be stars because Lamb had one catch. And last time I checked as a receiver, yes, you need to get open, but you need plays called that you're the primary or just to get the ball in your hands. And then you need the quarterback to deliver the football. And then there can be times when you're open and the quarterback wants to deliver the football too, and they're not getting protection.
Sure.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Really linked, yeah.
I always think comments like that are a little much.
Nonsensical.
Like you think CeeDee Lamb, so CeeDee Lamb was like, maybe I'm going to just kind of sit in the background today.
CeeDee Lamb and Zeke were like, let somebody else win it. We're just going to chill.
And by the way, Zeke is washed, it feels like.
He's washed,
and Emmitt Smith not washed. CeeDee Lamb also very, very good, but the ball didn't go to him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And he had one big catch that I know that was called back on a holding penalty. But I just thought those kind of things are like, who are you helping with those comments?
Yeah.
Fact or fiction, the weather in Green Bay Saturday night will play a factor in determining who wins between the Packers and Niners. Temperature expected around 5 degrees, wind chill about 10 below.
Fact. I mean, there's no way. There was a thing, I saw something this morning that Jimmy Garoppolo has never taken a snap in a game that cold, below 45, I think. He's never taken a snap in a game below a certain temperature. Because in New England it was earlier in the year, so like a live snap in a game that mattered below a certain temperature. Meantime, Rodgers has thrown for 15,000 yards below a certain temperature. So yeah, I mean I think the biggest thing, and you know better than me. I mean, I would assume that the first thing that I looked at on this was wind chill. So 10 below wind chill, that means you're talking about probably a 15-mile-an-hour wind, somewhere in that. If your air temp is 5 and a 15-degree, you're talking about a 15-mile-an-hour wind. So that would be.
Is that what it is?
Concern.
Just 1 degree per MPH?
That's usually
pretty close.
That's close.
One of the main factors.
I mean, I think it's going to be. I mean, can Jimmy Garoppolo? This is going to come down to can Garoppolo make throws when he has to? Like
they're going to run all over him.
They're going to run it. There's no question they're going to run it, and they're going to have success running it. The question is, there will come a time in the third quarter, fourth quarter, where he's got to drive the ball and get a first down. Can he do it? That's it.
It's going to be, in many ways, similar to our game. Can he take care of the ball?
Yeah.
They're going to be able to run it, and then if he needs to make a play with his arm, can he make that play? The next question for you, Gibbe, is a no-brainer. Better kicker in the game, Gould or Crosby? Gould hasn't missed in the playoffs in 100 years.
I think he's like 20 for his last 20.
Yeah, they were even trying to be like, you just jinxed him. And he made it anyway.
Nancy even said on the broadcast, she goes, I waited till after he kicked that to give that fact.
But then he ended up kicking like 3 in the first half, so he's like, the fact's already out there. You jinxed him, and he made him anyway. Mason Crosby went like...
Well, there were several where he got... What was the game? He got like Bengals 3 opportunities. Game. Yeah, Bengals. He got 3 or 4 opportunities and couldn't kick one through.
Yeah.
So,
but he's been pretty money when it counts. Through over the years,
he's kind of the Shaquille O'Neal of field goal kickers, where he would say, I'll hit the free throws that matter in the playoffs. I'll go 1 to 2.
A little
just push it. Just push it.
One-handed shot put.
Who has the edge in the following divisional coaching matchup? Bruce Arians or Sean McVay? Which team?
I mean,
who's the better coach?
I think Sean's probably the better coach.
Sean might be the better play caller, play designer, but Arians, I think, is the better coach. I think one thing that this group of young guys has to work through is getting guys to play for them, and to be. Sometimes wanting to play for a coach is a big deal. Like, can you be somebody who can go in a locker room and get guys jacked up? And you can be as brilliant as you want to be, but you got to inspire. And guys love playing for Arians. This goes back. Manning,
of course,
loved it. The guys in Arizona, Carson Palmer, Warner, loved him. So, like, this is and now the Bucks. Like, I think it's a big reason why Tom is there is because of Arians, and guys love playing for him.
I think if you could combine them into one, you'd have everything you want right there. By the way, Mason Crosby, second worst field goal percentage among kickers this year, 73.1%.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely lost. He's definitely lost it a little.
The other,
was
ours.
Yeah, we know.
Better passing numbers Sunday: Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes?
Who's saving for the over/unders? Maybe I don't know. I don't know what Beau's cooking up this week after last week. He had
no. This is fine.
Somebody clever, creative.
How are you doing better passing? Are you just saying yards passing?
Yes.
Touchdowns, interceptions,
passing yards. Let's not overthink it.
Well, it says better passing numbers, and implying that there are more than one number.
I see no scenario where Mahomes doesn't throw for like 375, 330. I guess I'll go Mahomes. Mahomes on that.
Same.
All right.
First time. This is the first time ever, guys. Of 2 quarterbacks are playing in the playoffs, coming off of 5 touchdown games. Didn't we get that stat dropped on us yesterday by Nick Shook?
Yeah, I think we did.
Nick Shook.
Yeah. And Allen had more touchdowns than incompletions last week. And Mahomes, I think, only missed it by 1. He had 5 touchdowns. I think he only missed on 6.
That's like Russ from that week 1 against the Falcons. Those many
years ago. Yeah, absolutely. Rumpke Waste Recycling, family-owned, operated. Whether you join them as a customer or as an employee, you'll become part of the family. Visit rumpke.com to learn more on that front. We will do a little over-under fun coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Oh.
All right, second hour here. Beau for my friends at EOX Vantage. EOX Vantage connects core systems that don't talk, from reporting and analytics to insight and decision-making, help you gain a more complete real-time picture of your business. This is a big one. It eliminates the Excel nightmares I know many of you have from business processes and visualize your important data in one place. Gain real-time insight to make data-driven decisions on performance through role-based visualization dashboards. With EOX Vantage, you can benefit from lower overall costs, better alignment between technology and specific business needs, scalability, ease of deployment and management. EOX Vantage makes your data work smarter to move your business forward. It's really as simple as that. You're all about growth. Your software should be too. I encourage you to check them out, www.eoxvantage.com. Local company that just absolutely crushes it with some of the world's biggest brands. Time for a little over-under. Hello, Gibby.
Oh, let's get it on.
You guys did good. You guys did good last week.
Really?
Yeah. So Z went 4-0-1.
Wow.
4-0-1. We had a push. With the Burrow-Stafford over-under total touchdowns of Kyler and Mahomes. So we had a push on that. The total number was 5. So you have a push. Gibby went 2-2-1 on yours. So you missed on the Z had Jimmy G and Elijah. This is what was amazing about this.
I knew I missed that one.
All right. So Jimmy G, Elijah Mitchell, higher or lower, Dak and Zeke. Jimmy G and Elijah Mitchell, 288. Dak and Zeke, 285.
It
3
came
yards.
down to that last drive. In my mind, I was like, this
3
is going
yards.
to come down to Dak here.
If Dak got one more play, one drive,
Cowboys.
3 yards.
Maybe
Total
he threw it instead of running it.
valid. Yeah, had he thrown it, that might have done it too. Total interceptions, all games. You both got it right. The number was set at 8.5. The actual was 9.
Incredible
Pretty good job by
setting these numbers.
you.
That's pretty
Yes.
good. Yeah. What else did we have? We had an over under all games combined. We set it at 47.5, which we thought was high, but that wasn't quite high enough. It actually was close to 50. Is what it ended up. So Gibby, you missed that one. You went under. The over hit on that one, but pretty close on all these. The only one that was
sure I didn't say over on that?
Yes.
Yes. The only thing that you was surprised was the total games decided by a field goal or less. We didn't have one.
Not one.
Not one that was decided by a field goal or less.
Yeah, we both took the under on that.
And you both went under.
Yeah, because Gibby, you followed me on the 3 that were my leads. So the 2 that you led on, I did the opposite. And so what was my record in the 2 head-to-heads with Gibby?
2-0.
2-0.
Your phone's ringing. It's from Texas.
It is.
I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world.
That's right, Gibby. I'm here to show the world exactly what happened in the regular season in the over-unders, that I'm your true champion. And because I have such confidence in my abilities in the over-under, I said, let's just go ahead and continue it on into the playoffs. Let's go ahead and extend this moment. Let's extend the delight, the anticipation. And that's exactly what I did. And I was absolutely perfect this week.
This is well played. I mean, you got to give credit where it's due. This is very, very good. If you would have been a wrestler, what would your look have been? Because you would have been clearly a great heel. You'd have been a tremendous heel.
Yeah. The dream's not dead, by the way.
Oh, I think it is.
I think
Pretty dead.
Let me pop that bubble.
pretty dead.
I feel like I could still be a manager, though.
No doubt. You could absolutely still be a manager.
So that's the dream
What would
that's
your
alive.
look have been? What would you have gone for? What would have the look have been?
Well, in all my years of playing on the WWE game, my guy typically had a very similar look in absolutely all of them. And so backstage was always a nice suit, but the ring was – I loved when The Rock used to wrestle in those, like, sweatpants with the 2 stripes down the side. So I always had, like, a pant.
Okay.
Kind of like a sweatpant, and then my boots, and then up top, I would usually end up with some kind of, like maybe a sleeve on one arm, and then some nice tats, which I would have to get.
What's your color? What was
all black and white.
all
And then
black.
I loved when Hogan used to come with the feather boa, so I'd often have a feather boa on my entrance. Oh, yeah. The
How
whole
about
deal.
facial hair? Would you have had a
Oh,
mustache?
yeah. I would have had
beard,
probably,
mustache.
Yeah, a beard.
Yeah. What would the gimmick have been? Do you think? Like if we're back in
So
the
like
old
if we
era?
were going in the
old
old
era,
days,
yeah.
like in the old days, I would have probably been like as a heel, like because I was a consultant so I would be like, and like I was thinking like my finisher could be like the downsizer, and so I'd be like, and I'd come in and just like I'd be the person that would like beat people and fire them basically.
I like it.
And so that would be kind of like my role. Like I was in the corporation, so like McMahon had hired me to trim the fat in this place.
You have given no thought to this.
None. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I don't have any introductory promos or anything.
There's no promos that are written and ready
no
to be
vignettes
cut.
that
There's
could have
no
been shot.
vignettes.
None of them. Yeah. No. I just came up with all that on the spot.
Just right now.
Yeah.
It's incredible recall.
Thanks.
Good job out of you. That is great. I mean, I think it would have been unbelievable. I really do. I think
it would have been.
It
It certainly would have been a lot of fun. It would have been a lot of fun.
All right. Time for the over-unders. Week 2, divisional round. All right, we're going to start in the similar way we did last week with total games decided by total games. Wait, hold on. What are you looking for? Let's go with this one first.
This is your thing.
I know.
Sometimes it's hard to read your own handwriting.
It is hard. I was trying to scratch. I get here, you come in hot. No excuses. Play like a champion.
That's right.
We'll start with you, Zegura, since you won.
Thank you.
NFC quarterbacks, over or under AFC quarterbacks, total yards passing. NFC quarterbacks versus AFC quarterbacks, over or under total yards passing. NFC over under AFC.
I'm going to take the NFC.
Over. The NFC over.
So I'm saying NFC will have more passing yards.
Give it.
AFC. Come on, Tannehill.
Ain't no
you gotta beat Jimmy
Grapes.
Grapes. You can do this.
I just feel like Stafford,
it will
Brady.
come down to those two.
I don't know.
Really? Those are the two worst quarterbacks left.
Yeah, but I think you're going to see the Bills try to slow that game down, and Josh is going to do a lot of running in that one along with Singletary. I think Brady and Stafford, that game's going to be an all-out aerial assault. I do like the fact that the Rams are running it better, but you can't really run on the Bucs, but you can throw on the Bucs.
Yeah.
And so I think that game's going to be an aerial assault, and I think Rodgers is going to be throwing the ball.
You went NFC?
He went AFC.
You
went opposite.
Opposite. You did the opposite.
I like it, Gibby. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going down in a ball of flames. I'm going down strong. Going down.
Next.
Over or under?
See, that still works.
Yeah. Gibby. Total games this weekend. There are 4 games, of course, this weekend. Total games decided by 4.5 or less. 4.5 or less. The number is 2.5. Over or under 2.5. Decided by 4.5 or less.
Under. Which means there.
I mean, you can have 2 games be closer than 4.5.
Yeah.
Under. Gibby. Segura. So you have 2 games decided by essentially what it will amount to a touchdown, and 2 that won't, and that would get you the under.
I don't know if I like.
By the way, there's only one game where the number is the only game with a big number is Packers. It's 5.5.
Packers, Niners, 5.5.
Everything else is a field goal or right there about.
So you said it at 2.5.
2.5, and the number is 4.5
points.
This is tough.
That is tough because if you go over, that means there can only be one game that's not close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go under with Gibbe as well.
Over or under?
Segura. Yes. Tom Brady and Joe Burrow.
I really love how you're doing this.
Total touchdowns.
Okay.
Higher or lower, Rodgers and Stafford. Total touchdowns.
Now remember, what we need to do here is be like either they're +0.5 or -0.5.
So I will go. I'll go +0.5.
Brady and Burrow +0.5 total touchdowns versus Mahomes and who?
No, Rodgers and Stafford.
Is this just throwing or
total
touchdowns?
Total
so
touchdowns.
Running and passing.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is a good one.
I know.
This is a good one. Let me pop in here real fast.
We don't have time for that. We're
quick calculation. Mm-hmm.
Oh
yep.
God.
That's right. Yes, I see this here, and then I add this and carry the 4.
What are you looking for?
I
What
don't
stat
even-
is he trying to
I
track
don't even
down?
know what he could be doing.
Aaron Rodgers
it's
and
Burrow
Stafford.
Rodgers.
No, it's Stafford and Rodgers, and it's Burrow and Brady.
It's a killer bees, yeah.
Over.
Brady and Burrow getting a half. They're
Same.
getting the hook. They're getting the hook. They're getting the hook, yeah.
Same. I'm taking them on the over.
Ooh, Gibbe.
Next.
Over or under.
I missed this one, so we're bringing this back. Gibbe. Sacks, interceptions, fumbles recovered.
Thanks for bringing back the thing that
Fumbles
I haven't gotten right all season.
recovered. The average for all 4 games, higher or lower, 4.1.
Sacks plus turnovers.
Sacks plus
Let's
turnovers.
just call it that. Yep.
Sacks plus turnovers. The average per team, 4.1.
Per team.
Yeah, so not one game.
Oh.
So
I
in
was
other words,
thinking
no, because otherwise it would have to be 8, because there's going to be
Sure.
So it's 4.1. Average per team, 4.1. Over under 4.1. Turnovers, sacks.
over. I think Zegura's going to go under. I got to go over.
You're darn right I'm going under, baby. Aaron Rodgers alone ruins this. All by himself.
Yeah.
All he needs is 0 somewhere, and that means you need one team to be at 10. You need it to be at 5 per game. You need it, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's sort of. I mean, the league is around there. Usually around you're 4.1. If it would have been 3.1, would have been a little more difficult.
Sure.
But 4.1
Guys
does
are going to be
provide that.
slinging the ball. Conditions not so great.
Yeah, it's bad conditions all
Everybody
over.
just
All I need
squeeze the football.
I got a couple guys that can make that happen.
Over or under.
I don't even know what that means, Gibbe.
Same. Total games. The average over-under, so this is the over-under, the average over-under for every game, 49.5.
See, I'm going to go back. I think I got this right last week.
You did not.
You did not.
Damn pool.
All of them are
Sunshine.
under except for one is well over.
Yeah,
The Bills and
47-5,
Chiefs are like
47,
54 or
48,
something.
and then 54.
54 on the Bills and the Chiefs.
I've been pretty
I'm going
dialed into
over.
these. I'm going under.
You're going under?
Yeah.
Under. Over.
I think you're gonna get some slowing down of the games in these. I think I actually like the under in the Bills Chiefs game, and I hate unders, but I would enjoy that. I think that's not a bad one for the people.
All right. There you go.
So we have 4 differences this week. This is moving day.
There's a lot of movement that could happen here. Yeah, absolutely. We've got some mailbag leftovers coming up next, and the scores.
I
coming
took
up at the
under on
bottom.
that last one. Did you get on the totals? Is that the bottom one?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh.
49 points.
But that looks like we have 2 similarities.
No, you got 3 differences. 1, 2, 3. 3 differences.
Okay.
Yep. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. OBM Ohio Business Machine, preferred copier provider, your Cleveland Browns. They have all the X's and O's for your office. Call 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. We've got some leftover mailbag.
Yeah, I couldn't, I mean, yesterday got derailed, sidetracked.
Shocker.
Maybe, I don't want to use a negative term because I thought it was a fantastic segment.
It was a great segment.
It was fantastic.
So,
pure joy.
But I did want to get to some of the people's questions.
Yeah.
Like James Bailey.
Okay.
How does Bishop get the apples out of the apple pie wellers?
You don't. I mean, some will fall through. Like this year, I used Woodford Reserve, which was great for it. And some of those guys would fall through at the end. I always use a strainer to keep the stuff from getting in the drink, and then I'll poach some of those guys. But some of it, at that point,
it's tough because
the juice is out.
Nana wants the apples. She wants to try to make it like an apple pie with them or something, which I don't know if it would work at that point. I feel like it's been in the alcohol for so long.
If we were going to try to make sure that Nana got what she wanted, I suppose if you cut the apples small enough,
you could get them back.
You could get them back out.
So here's what I would make a recommendation going forward to you, because and you gave me this brand, but the Larceny.
Oh yeah.
So a couple things working for the Larceny.
Yeah.
Number
it's a good
one,
bourbon for starters. Yeah.
Okay. 3 things. 1, good bourbon. 2, their standard bottle, at least where I bought, is a liter, not 750.
No, they definitely have a 750,
okay,
but they are one that has a handle for sure.
So I got a nice liter, and it just is big bottle. It's beautiful.
Yep.
And it's a wide mouth at the top.
There you go.
So it was a very easy load.
Yeah.
It sits nicely, and it actually has a flat cap, so you can. I like to every 2 days I would flip them so that I felt my stuff was in getting around the different parts of the liquid. But I thought that was a great one, so I'm hopeful that I might be able to extract some.
I bet you
at
can.
The end. I have probably 2 pours left.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to have them.
Well, right. I mean, that's the tricky part. I don't have any pours left.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It should be. I just am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like somebody went over.
This would be a good weekend for it. With it, maybe tonight. It's nice and it's cool.
Minus
little fire
or something.
Whenever I see somebody going near, whoa.
Easy. We'll stay away from that guy.
But got to introduce you in this Terramana with some pineapple.
Pineapple. Yeah. I mean, this is a bourbon night. I mean, you can't get more bourbon night than a night like tonight.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah. So I guess I don't ever think of that because I don't ever pursue them. But if I did, I guess what Z said would make sense, or just cut the slices smaller and they should fall out.
At Barrel Aged Dave, that's the Twitter handle. That's pretty darn good. What is the Mount Rushmore of Kramer storylines in Seinfeld? Oof. In my opinion, Kramerica.
Yeah, that's one.
Darren Intern, Cigar Club, Merv Griffin set, Dr. Van Nostrum Meat Slicer.
All right, so Merv Griffin set, Kramerica are 1,
Merv
2.
Griffin set, yes.
Those are the top 2 by 100 miles. They are sensational. Because in Kramerica, isn't he also goes to an office for a job that he doesn't actually have?
Yes.
And he goes, I don't believe in it. And then Darren was like, I don't believe this. I believe in Kramerica. And then they dropped the ball on the hello girl and all that. Yeah, I mean, so those would be Kramerica and Merv Griffin are one. The Merv Griffin set episode is unreal.
Unbelievable.
Unreal.
Yeah.
A lot of people say the contest is when the show went nuts, and it probably did for mainstream. But But in terms of, I remember vividly when Merv Griffin said happened and went that's another level. That just was another level when the Merv Griffin show.
Yes.
So many great ones.
There's the underwear model, like he and Jackie. They're going to
trying
to get a settlement. He ends up being an underwear model.
Well, he did the Kenny Rogers Roasters was really strong when he was doing that.
Is that when he was baking himself?
When he was baking himself, and then Newman was going to eat him, and then you had, in the Little Jerry Seinfeld.
Little Jerry.
Remember Little Jerry Seinfeld? Yeah. That was so strong, where he had the rooster. Yeah. So that's.
Can't let Gibbe say what that was.
I think you could say that though. I was in real time. I was saying, "Can I say this?" And I think, yeah, you can, because that is a thing.
It is.
It is.
It's not a, I don't know.
What about I just scribbled this because these are some of my favorite maybe moments more than shows. I had the TV show first, the Merv Griffin set. When he hits the golf ball into the whale's blowhole is just electric.
Yeah.
That whole episode, George telling the story.
Marine biologist.
Yeah,
all
of
that's
it.
Unbelievable.
Larry yelling at with Greenpeace on the
Yeah.
raft. Then when he poses for the Kramer, I mean, the Kramer is elite.
There's several Jackie Childs ones with like the hot coffee, and then he sued 2 people. Oh, Sue Ellen Mishke. Sue Ellen Mishke got him. That was strong too.
Was he part of the? Was he part of the Moyle? Did he?
Felt like well, yeah, because that's the one with the meat slicer, isn't it? With Kruger and all that.
Yeah, I think the meat slicer is the top 4.
Oh,
what about it? What about the Kavorka?
What was that?
Just his animal attraction. His
right.
Kavorka.
Yeah, that's right.
The power that he had.
The power that he had.
Yeah.
And a lot of the little things that him and Newman would get into was incredible. Remember, Elaine paid him to kidnap a dog at one point. Newman, like they went to get to Newman and they did that. That was strong. Like that interview.
The
with
test
Newman.
drive.
Oh my, and the sob.
It was when the priest. It was from the conversion. The priests are worried over Sister Roberta's infatuation and tell Kramer that he has the Kavorka, Latvian word for the lure of the animal, making him irresistible to women. Right. The Kavorka. I use Kavorka around my house quite a bit.
He was doing the Da Vinci too, where he was sleeping every 20 minutes, trying to do that. That's great. That's great. That show's unreal.
Okay.
That's good. Great question.
Mel Kiper Jr. making another appearance on the show. Is Shane Falco on your Mount Rushmore of movie QBs?
No.
How many are? Well, so there's 4. Yeah.
Well, who is on your Mount Rushmore?
Well, the George Washington is Jamie Foxx in Any Given Sunday.
Yes.
That's number 1. Willie Beeman is number 1.
Scheming Willie Beeman.
Yeah, I'd go Willie Beeman number 1. I would go. Oh gosh, what's the name of the character in the program? The quarterback who's the alcoholic, and then but he leads Big State U. I mean, he's a Heisman guy.
Yeah.
So Joe. Oh gosh, is it?
I don't know his name. I've got Scott Bakula in Necessary Roughness.
Bakula.
Him too. I like Dracula. Bakula. That guy. And then what about Mox?
Well, I think you have it wrong. It's not. It wouldn't be Mox. It would be the other one, the one who got hurt, Lance Harbor. Well, he was the number 1 recruit. Joe Kane. Joe Kane is in the program.
Yeah.
So that's one for sure. So you've got Willie Beeman, Joe Kane.
Do documentaries count as movies?
Not.
Joe Montana, Asking for a Friend.
No, not. I think Lance Harbor is on that list because he was the number 1 recruit in the country. Before, and by the way, apparently at the time when they made the movie Varsity Blues, if you tore your ACL, your career was over. You could never walk again.
Forever.
That was it.
That's
You're done.
But Mox came in and played pretty well.
Yeah, he did. But then he went to Brown. Like he wasn't like a dude. He was more gimmicky.
But he didn't want his dad's life.
I don't want your life.
I don't want your life.
I mean, is Shane Falco even better than Johnny Utah? I mean, Johnny Utah played at Ohio State.
He did. So did Shane Falco.
Falco played at Ohio State, too. They both played at Ohio State.
He did.
Jeez.
By the way,
Paul Blake, by the way, is the name of Dracula's character.
Iron Will going back to Kramer. Kramer doing movie phone.
Yeah, movie phone was good. Yeah, we would just call people. Well, why don't you just tell me? Yeah. Those, I don't know. But Willie Beeman is so far and away.
Definitely the best.
The number 1. And there's so many, Jamie Foxx was a high school quarterback, really good high school football player. And that's obvious when you watch the show that when you watch Any Given Sunday, that he can handle his business. Next, Gibby.
Tell you what, on my Jamie Foxx Mount Rushmore, though, Booty Call would be on my Mount Rushmore of Jamie Foxx films.
When we get to a break.
Along with Any Given Sunday.
By the way, movie phone is a lot what's going on here today. A lot of movie phone vibe going on right here. And Merv Griffin Show episode is going on right here, right now.
Have a seat.
Come on in.
Come on in.
It's a falcon. Don't bring a squirrel in here. Falcons eat squirrels.
I'm not going to give this guy's Twitter handle. I probably could say it, but I've done enough today. Who's your draft-eligible wide receiver? Why? And could you say his name in your best macho voice?
Who is my what?
Put you on the spot.
Draft eligible receiver. We will never say his name on this show.
Cinco, yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go. All right, you got scores coming up next?
Well, we're going to do a little scores.
A little bit of scores coming your way next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. For a running back, getting extra yards is great, but ball security, always the first priority. For gamblers, keeping priorities straight, also important to make sure all your bills are paid before you spend money on fun stuff like gambling. Get more tips like this at keepitfunohio.com. And with that, it is time for a little segment we like to call the scores.
We're running out.
Attention to the scores. They will have more scores today than are left post this weekend.
Yeah, well,
you could do the same. You could do a Pro Bowl.
I do not.
No,
do scores.
We don't.
Pro Bowl.
We don't do Pro Bowl scores.
Just throwing it out there.
Next week, I wonder next week on the scores if we should
start working in some
should
stuff.
We do some
props?
Some props. Yeah.
Yeah, I started looking into it, but then I didn't want to overlap your over/unders.
Yeah.
That's
There's
thoughtful.
that little worry when I started to do
thoughtful.
that.
You can concede, and then we can move on.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Too bad we're not on the air, so we can get some tweets about. I'm sorry to break it to you, Gibbs. It was actually not the
Jason,
Germans.
you have it wrong.
You've got it wrong. Not the Germans. By the way, 4-2 for both of us. And if you were one of those, what I like to call real discerning listeners of the show, every game was picked correctly by somebody other than the Philly-Tampa game. We just bricked that one.
Yep.
But other than that, I had the Rams, and you had the Bengals. And then in agreement, we had Buffalo, Niners, Kansas City, just printing money for the good folks of Cleveland.
Yep.
That's what we like to do.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This week, a little bit tougher. I think.
Here's the thing that's crazy about this week is that in every one of these instances, you can find a statistical point of reference that makes you feel very good about a matchup, and the other side has the same or a similar
you can talk yourself in every
matchup.
team.
There's not a single matchup here. When you go through this, you go, oh, I can see this, and this is this. I mean,
this has only one outcome.
Yeah,
last week we had some
last
one
weekend
outcome
you could
games.
look at games and you go, I have no interest in that. That's going to be a blowout. That's not going to be a good game. All four of these are lining up to be slobber knockers.
and tight.
Well,
I mean, it's a tight. They're all tight from a number standpoint.
Indeed. Let's dance. The Bengals, the number 4 seed out of the AFC North, traveling to Nashtucky to take on the Tennessee Titans. The number 1 seed, a bye week. Derrick Henry back, I think. I don't know.
Hold on. Before we go into this, can I just read a tweet to you guys? I just want to read that was apparently came across my timeline just now, but from earlier this morning from Pro Football Talk. And I quote, "The Texans, who really want to hire Josh McCown as the team's next head coach, hope another team with a vacancy will interview him in order to help legitimize the move they'd like to make."
So I talked about this morning. I don't even have an idea.
You going Merv Griffin?
I really like it.
Oh my God.
It's fun.
It really is nice.
Go ahead and get a leg up. There it is.
Okay.
What is
this?
this?
You have to look at the screen.
A Detroit lean. I'm using my peripherals, dog.
So what blew my mind is like,
if you want to hire,
this is coming from I don't even believe it. Like I don't understand it. Like who's leaking that out?
Right. Who's benefit?
Leaking it out? Who benefits from this? McCown doesn't benefit from this. By the way, this is not a big deal at all to hire Josh McCown. It'd be perfectly justifiable. It happens in baseball all the time. Guys play a long career. They've been around a long time, and you hire them right away, and they come out and they go manage. Steve Nash did it. Like this happens all the time.
Why do you need? And this is what it says in the story. The Texans apparently know they need more than a supportive tweet from one of GM Nick Casario's reporter friends. They believe they need, as we hear it, another team to interview McCown in order to legitimize and normalize the notion of McCown going straight to the job of head coach, despite having no coaching experience at college or pro football in any capacity. Will someone do it? Maybe. Many favors are traded in the NFL for many different reasons. What if, for example, the Jags decided to do a solid for McCown's agent, Mike McCartney, who also represents Michigan pass rusher Aiden Hutchinson? How long does it take? 2 hours? The time could be spent to help set the right tone for the inevitable Hutchinson contract talks. The point is for now that the Texans are seriously considering hiring McCown, despite no coaching experience, and maybe they will. If it works, great. If it doesn't, they can always fire him, saying philosophical differences like they did with Culley. Look, if you have the conviction that he's the right guy, and I love Josh McCown, I certainly feel like he probably knows the game, and I definitely think he can lead a room of guys. Like, I have zero questions about that. Do it. If that's what you believe, do it.
No, of course. What I don't understand is how this gets out.
Agreed.
Like, who is the one that pushed this nonsense?
Where's McClain? I want to know what McClain has to say about this report.
I don't know, but, is that quickly developing into one of the least attractive openings?
It is. It is the least.
I mean,
it's the least.
You'd rather go to the Giants.
Yeah, for sure. The Giants have good skill people.
You
can probably talk yourself into Dan Dimes.
I don't know what the end game is with anything that they do right now over there.
No. Yeah, I think it's the least attractive.
Yeah. All right. The Bengals traveling to Nashville. Titans, Bengals, number 1 seed, Derrick Henry, we think. Don't know how much he'll play. Could be a big little fool's gold there.
Yeah. So there's a number going around from the Vrabel side of things that when he has more than a week to prepare, that he is 8-0 and wins by an average of 16 a game when he has more than a week to prepare. There's another one going around in terms of Tennessee blitzes like the second least amount in the league, and in that they have the second most sacks in the league, despite blitzing the second least in the league. So they're dropping 7 because they don't have it in the corners. Burrow, when versus blitz versus non-blitz, he's 36 points lower in a quarterback rating, non-blitz versus blitz.
Yep.
Right? So all that being said, when I saw this map for Cincinnati, I just thought, gosh, what a map. Like, they're going to the AFC Championship game. And if you would have asked me Monday, that's probably where I would have gone. But as I sit here today,
so weird.
I go the other way, and I say they're going to have a healthy Derrick Henry because I think they're sandbagging on that. They're going to have both Brown and Julio in the game. And then the games when Julio, Brown, and Henry have all played, they've been great. I think we're sleeping on the Titans a little bit. I like Tennessee, 28-24.
It's amazing because we had this conversation, Tuesday or Wednesday, and I brought up to you, and you and I both felt that it was a foregone conclusion. Yeah. And now what we're doing, where it's like the scene in Princess Bride. It seems too easy. Clearly we can't choose the cup in front of us. And now I'm with you on the Titans. I had that in there as well. I think the Titans, we're sleeping on them. And it's funny. I was reading some smart NFL people or people whose opinions I think are pretty good, and they made a pretty compelling case for the Titans. And I think maybe I'm just swept up in Burrow mania because I love watching him play the game.
And it's
all
still
of it.
Fun and flashy, all of it. Yeah.
But the Titans, they're the 1 seed for a reason now. Granted, Kansas City, and if you're the Chiefs, that loss to the Bengals, which, again, probably didn't fully derail our season, but it certainly ended it way abruptly. That loss was horrific and means that you now have to deal. Could you imagine if you're the Chiefs at the 1 seed, you're feeling so much better about any matchup, Cincinnati or Tennessee, than you would have had to go dealing with, Buffalo now.
Oh, Mike. And then having to go on the road, theoretically, versus Arrowhead for the AFC Championship game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a big loss.
Huge.
Did you say same, Zegura?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Same.
Just wanted to confirm.
Good clarification.
Saturday night foosball. Some people have dinners. Real fans will be watching the game. 49ers.
I thought
Packers
we came to an agreement. I'm going to have
from
an iPad. I'm gonna be watching
Lambeau
the game.
Field.
So I'm a real fan.
5 degrees at kick, minus 10
Cold,
wind chill at kick as well. The Packers, the number 1 seed, coming off that bye week. Can they make a run this year? Zegura, lead us
Listen,
off.
I've been to Lambeau. I've seen it. I felt the mystique late in the winter months. They're good. They're the 1 seed. I think they're representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. I think that the Packers win. What? Oh, wait a second.
Oh, my God.
Is
What is that? Who is it? Who's here?
Oh, it's Debo and Jimmy Grapes. Oh, boy. And come on in, guys. The water's warm. I'm going to get home just in time to see Garoppolo to Debo, touchdown, and then the Packers block the extra point.
Oh, my God.
28-27, Pack. Same.
It just feels like I was going to say 28-24, 27-24. It just feels like
In that mix.
Packers are good. It's hard for me to imagine the Packers losing the game. They just have played so well. But if you go look at their last month, they haven't really played great.
No.
We should have
They were not great against us.
The last time they really played great was against the Rams, which is, I think, week 12. They basically played a lot of teams close after that. They only have one game where they slumped, and they slumped the Vikings. That was it. Other than that, they played a lot of close games, including ours. I think they play a very close game. I don't know if it's one where it's like Rodgers with the ball with a minute to go score. I can see it actually going the other way. 49ers with the ball, maybe can't score. That, to me, maybe adds up, but I think it's close. I do think 5.5 was surprising to me, so I like San Francisco in that.
If this is a blowout, I will be supremely disappointed tomorrow night.
I don't think it will be. I don't see a scenario where it would be.
Same.
Zegura, you raised your hand. Was there anything you
Yeah,
wanted?
before we get into this Rams game, the Rams have just announced that Andrew Whitworth, their starting left tackle, will not play in this game. will not
Developments.
play.
Developments. 40 years
game.
old.
Well,
Why is he not playing?
Brady might not have either of his tackles.
Knee. He returned to the game last week too, so I don't know why, but knee apparently is what it says there.
All right. We move to Sunday. Game times? I like the start times more and more. Really
this
like
Sunday's
the start
going to
times.
be really great.
Sunday, 3 o'clock. Tampa Bay, the defending Super Bowl champs, playing host to the Los Angeles Rams.
I'm going to say something real quick here. I think that this is going to be the best. This might be the best. It's going to be better than the championship Sunday. I don't think you can get two games as good as these two games on championship Sunday.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's. I mean, because the AFC is the AFC championship game in my view. Winner here wins it. And then the other one. I mean, there's just so much star power in the other one. So yeah.
Okay.
Rams, Buccaneers, Bishop, go.
This is a tough one. I go back and forth.
I have a tough time with it as well. I just keep coming back to, and this isn't. It's probably not fair for Stafford, but he is 0-9 with teams that have had 10 wins as a quarterback, and they hammered the Bucs last time. We're hearing about the tackles, and we're hearing about, I'm actually really not worried at all about the Godwin Brown part of it because I think he's had a long time to get sorted out there, and they'll have a plan for it. Brady's actually not good in rematch games. He's 5-6 in rematch games, which is pretty interesting.
I love all these facts
yeah.
you've got.
There's a lot that I got going here.
You've been you're real prepared.
I've had a lot of time to talk about these 4 games.
I bet.
3 hours in the morning.
That'd be 15.
My inclination on this one after last weekend, after Monday night, was this is a brutal matchup for the Bucs, and it's the end of the road. But then you start hearing the stuff about, well, this could be it for Brady. A lot of people saying this could be it. He might just retire. By the way, people go, he's going to shockingly retire. He's 45. My God. How would it be shocking
He's had a pretty good run
that he would retire, winner or loser? I am not betting against Tom Brady against anybody. I'm not. Bucs 31, Rams 27.
I like all these numbers because I think I picked the average over for all of these.
Once again, we're in the same boat here. So I was for a while really leaning the Rams. I thought they could disrupt the passing attack. Whitworth's a huge loss. The rest of their line is not good. It has not been good. And if you give up front an opportunity to get dominated, I think Stafford will throw a couple of picks. I like the back end for the Bucs. Bucs, I'm with you. It's funny. This is not how if we had picked these on Tuesday,
would have been different.
I would have had Cincinnati and the Rams.
Same. I would have too.
Interesting.
Final one, 6:30 p.m. Sunday early evening. About an hour and a half earlier than usual.
Good.
Real good. Real nice there. Thanks, Billy. We'll be done by 10 o'clock. The Buffalo Bills. The rematch of the AFC title game from a year ago. The Bills going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Zegura.
No team was more impressive in the first round of the playoffs than the Buffalo Bills. No player was more impressive in the first round of the playoffs than Josh Allen.
Fact.
The Chiefs are very good. Very complete.
We have about
But
60
I believe
seconds.
this is the time
Oh, my gosh.
for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to break through. A Jordan Poyer interception late seals it. Bills 24. Chiefs 20.
This one gives you everything you want. By the way, the fact that it's 1.5 is amazing. So they're not even getting – they think the Bills are the better team, clearly, because usually 2.5 is the minimum you look at on that front. So they think the Bills are better. I just can't go against – I'm not going against Mahomes. I'm not going against Reed. Not at home. I think it's everything you want. 41-38, Kansas City.
Ooh, I don't like that. That's why I purposely went with a low score.
I know. All right, still so much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Is this the best weekend of the NFL, the divisional?
Yes.
Feels like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's like wild
4
card.
great
We didn't get
games.
much. You get 4. Everybody here's legit. It's all real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, enjoy a dinner or watch football.
He's gonna do both.
I don't know.
He's got his iPad. He's all set.
We'll see.
Why are you riding me, Gibby?
I mean, what would your father say?
Why are you riding me, Gibby? Oh, pure joy.
My dad.
Good fun.
I'll tell you, my dad would fly in to go to this dinner.
I'm surprised if he
On
knew
his
it was
own dime.
happening. If he knew it was
No.
happening, he
Yes.
would
And that's-
on his own
yes.
dime.
Yes,
yeah,
he would.
he'd pay
For
his
this
own way.
dinner.
No scholarships.
Yes.
Yeah, he'd pay his own way.
Yes.
Enjoy your football weekend, everybody. We're back on Monday. The next level, I believe, is next.
Yeah.
You can listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.